Hey guys, and welcome to my first ever video on this channel. Before I start my story and my experience about my condition, please do not judge the video. This is what I'm going through, this is personal, and this has taken so much confidence to upload. So please respect that, guys. And yes, I know I don't look the greatest. It's what FND does to you, makes you feel like rubbish. But today I wanted to talk about my condition, who I am, and what's going to be going on with this channel. So yeah, let's get to it. Now, before I start anything as well, there is going to be no editing in this video. I am not going to be editing out the bad parts, the good parts, any of that. It's all going to be one video, and that's just reality of it. I'm not going to spend time making a story sound better than it is, because it's really not. So yeah, let's just get straight to it, guys. So I am Poppy. I am 17 years old. I was a student studying photography at college. Now, I started college last year, back in September, and I had to drop out of college. And you're probably thinking, why did she drop out of college? Well, basically, I have a condition called FND. Now, if you guys don't know what FND stands for, it stands for Functional Neurological Disorder. It is a bit like fibromyalgia, it's a bit like multiple sclerosis, and it's basically those two conditions mixed together, plus a whole load of other symptoms, and this is what I suffer from. So back in April, everything was good, everything was fine, there was nothing to report, my health was good, everything was as good as it could possibly be. I was out doing my photography, studying at college, having an awesome time, everything was great. Now, April the 2nd, my life basically changed for, I don't know if it's for good, but it's changed to this day. April the 2nd, I woke up with really bad back pain, and it was in the lower part of my back, and it was in the middle of my back. So it was my spine, basically. And this was new, and so what I did is I put some deep heat on my back and I took some paracetamol. Standard stuff, you know, because that's what you do, and hopefully it shifts. This back pain did not shift. In fact, the Tuesday it was still there. So it was the Monday that it started, and the Tuesday it was still there. Tuesday I then had pins and needles in my legs, and I was actually crying because I was in a lot of pain, and I don't cry unless I'm suffering real bad. So Tuesday we called 999, and a paramedic came to check me out, and he was like, okay, I think it's muscular, there's nothing to worry about, just take this pain relief. If it still doesn't go away, then go see your GP on next week. So we're like, okay. Wednesday came along. Again, I was still in a lot of pain. I was sitting on the sofa, and I went to stand up from the sofa, and my legs caved in underneath me, and I couldn't feel them whatsoever. I could not feel my legs whatsoever. And obviously, if you can't feel your legs, you can't really walk. And so I couldn't walk. I couldn't even stand, really. I was so weak at this point. So we already had an ambulance come check me out already, because again, I wasn't right, and we didn't think it was muscular, we thought it was something else. We already had an ambulance coming out to check me out anyway, but we had to call them up like two minutes after this leg weakness, and we were like, look, she can't feel her legs now. And we were like, okay. And then they came literally about 5 minutes later, which was amazing. And I just want to thank them for that. We then got checked out to my local hospital, and they did some checks, reflex tests, stuff like that. And they said, I'm sorry, but it's muscular. Sent me home because I could just about walk again. It was like a hobble, you know. And then, oh my God, this sun is so bright. I'm so about that, guys. So that happened. Then the Thursday was really no better. In fact, Thursday evening, I had to drag, and I mean physically drag, my left leg up the stairs because I couldn't feel it whatsoever. Couldn't feel it. Friday, came down the stairs, all was all right. My left leg was still had to drag it everywhere. And suddenly my right leg also went numb as well. Now, it was from my knees down to my feet. This was why they were a bit confused by it. Because if you're paralysed, you know, it's normally from the waist down or from the point of injury down. So it's not just like your knees down to your feet. So they were really confused. So that Friday, we also went back to hospital. We went back to a different hospital. They seemed a lot more concerned about it. And they took me in, admitted me for 11 days. I had a CT scan because it all happened first on my left side. They thought it was a possible stroke. So I had to have a CT scan, ruled that out. Nothing came up on the CT scan. Then had an MRI scan. Nothing came up on the MRI scan. Then I had a lumbar puncture. Nothing came up on the lumbar puncture. And then I had a second MRI scan because I had sudden weakness in both of my arms as well. Nothing came up for that. So because physio, they came to, you know, see me and they were like, okay, we can't send you home unless you can walk and stand and stuff like that and do the stairs. So they got me to walk again. It was just a hobble like it was back on the Wednesday. And I'd managed just about to do the stair assessment. Not very successful, but I managed to do it just about with the help of someone else. And they sent me home, and a couple of weeks later, I was still hobbling around. So when we went out in public and stuff, we decided we were going to hire a wheelchair from the British Red Cross, and I just want to thank the British Red Cross because if it wasn't for you guys, I would be stuck at home in my bed every day, unable to go anywhere. But you have supplied me with a chair where I can go to public places and I can go out and I can have my freedom and I can do what I want to do because of that chair, and it's just helped me so much. So yeah, the 2 weeks later we hired the wheelchair from the British Red Cross because I could walk, but you know, not in public. I don't want to be seen around hobbling around because I don't know, I just thought it was really embarrassing. So, and plus I would just get exhausted. So we hired a self-propelled wheelchair. And then a couple of days later, basically, I lost the use of my legs again, couldn't feel them again, couldn't walk again. And this happened for, I believe, what was a couple of months. And then they came back again. Now, the problem with this condition is basically I had these good days and then I had these bad weeks. So you're probably thinking you're probably thinking, what's she talking about? So I had these days where everything was back to normal. My life was back to normal before April. I could walk. I was in no pain. I had no leg weakness. That went on for about 3 days. On the third day, everything changed again. The leg redness, that came back. You know, the back pain came back. Couldn't, walk. No sensation. All of that. So after that day, I was in a wheelchair for 2 weeks, unable to walk, unable to move my legs. Physio, we booked a physio and they came around to check me out and they were doing like sensation tests, pinprick and all of that. Now, what I believed was from my knees down to my feet had moved up, and I wasn't aware of this until the physio came around that day, which then told me different news, which wasn't the greatest news, but it was interesting to hear it. And I don't know, it was a lot concerning that this sensation had suddenly moved up from being down from my knees to my feet. It had moved up to being my mid-thighs down to my feet. So, you know, that was worrying. A couple of weeks later, she came around again. We did some standing up. And then that evening, I couldn't move at all. I was in so much pain. I couldn't move. So the next morning, I still could not move. So I had to get checked out by the paramedics. They said, okay, this is not right. We'll take you to the hospital. Took me to the hospital. They gave me some more stronger drugs. So I'm on stronger drugs now. And then a couple of weeks later, basically we found out that I basically had to manage these episodes of back pain where it's so bad that I can't move, and these were like a regular thing, and they still are a regular thing to this day. And then a couple of weeks ago, this was interesting, I was coming out of the shower. Now it's a walk-in shower. I sat up and I'm suddenly feeling really lightheaded. Now, I've passed out before due to, like, I guess stress, I'm not sure. And I've passed out quite a bit before. And basically, I felt like I was going to pass out. This was completely different. I don't believe this was a faint. I believe it was something called a blackout. Because the whole room went black. I had this huge bang. Like, my eyes just... When you pass out, your eyes, they close slowly, and what tends to happen, I don't know if you've experienced it, I have, the whole ground starts, I don't know, it starts lifting up towards you as you're falling. It's really weird. And then your eyes are like still open, but when you hit the floor, that's when your eyes close. So this was different. My eyes just completely closed out of, I don't even know why, but they just closed suddenly. Huge bang. Everything black. I don't know how long I was out for. I couldn't possibly tell you. And then when I opened my eyes, I was on the floor. So it was either, it must have been a blackout, because when I came around, I didn't really know where I was. I was really confused, and I don't know, I was panicky. I was like, where am I? I don't know where I am. So that happened. Now, since then, and that was a couple of weeks ago, I've had at least 20 blackouts. Sometimes I get warnings, sometimes I don't get warning. The warnings that I get is my eyes, they start to like flicker, so almost like this, and my head goes back, and then I'm just out. Other times, there's a delivery guy here. I'm going to go downstairs. Wait a minute, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to go downstairs and get a delivery, which is now made me like out of breath because I had to do that so quickly. Anyways, back to the story. I can't remember what I was talking about now. Blackouts, that was it. So yeah, it's almost like a seizure. My eyes, they start to just close, and then I'm out, and then sometimes I'm just out. Recently, the 2 blackouts that I had recently, I went live on a broadcast, and they witnessed the blackouts on camera. And basically, apparently, and now I don't remember this because sometimes blackouts, they take away your memory. And basically what happened is, apparently my speech was really slow, and it was really slurred, almost like when somebody suffers a stroke and their speech is really slow and really slurred. Apparently it was like that, and that was scary to deal with. I don't remember. I don't remember that happening, but why would I? Because blackouts, they do take away your memory from that current time. So that happened recently. So the other day we went to see the specialist. That was yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Yes. No, it wasn't yesterday. The day before yesterday, we went to go see the specialist due about this condition. We've been waiting 7 months to see this guy. Went to go see him in St George's. He doesn't know what it is that's causing all these symptoms. But he's put this down to FND, and so I'm now a sufferer of FND. It's great to call it a name. I didn't know what it was for weeks, and we didn't know if it was curable, treatable, if it's permanent. We didn't know any of that, and knowing that we've now got a diagnosis is great because we can go down the right roads. Now, I believe he said 30 to 40% don't fully recover. Some people don't recover at all, and then I think some other people, they do recover. Now, what I've been put forward to, and this is gonna be such a long time and it's gonna be stressful, but I've got you guys with me now. Basically, I've got to wait 6 months, and then I'm going to be admitted into what's kind of like a rehab centre, but it's for physio, of daily physio, and that is for 3 months. So I'm going to be living in this centre for 3 months, day in, day night, and basically do physio, learn how to walk again, and hopefully, crossed fingers, that I do recover. So yeah, that's the story, guys. I also do get body tremors as well, where like my whole body like just shakes like this, and sometimes it's from my neck down to my feet. Sometimes it's just my waist down to my legs. Oh, I also forgot to mention the sensation has moved up. So I said, you know, it's from my knees down to my feet, and then my mid thighs down to my feet. It's actually from my mid stomach, so like here, where my belly button is basically, down to my feet. In fact, it was so bad that I lost bladder control. That was fun. I had to have a catheter for 3 weeks. I got it taken out yesterday because I regained sensation. Woo! So yeah, that's my story, guys. I am a sufferer of FND. Now you know me a bit more. Please like this video. And if you're an FND sufferer as well, or, you know, you have had FND and you've recovered, anything like that. I don't want to make this sound negative, but yeah, if you've had FND in the past, or you currently have FND and you're being treated for it, if you haven't recovered, then please let me know in the comment box. It honestly means the world to me. I'd love to hear your stories. Everyone's different. Everyone's treatment plan is different, and other people get different symptoms. Those are the ones that I get. So yeah, please give this a huge thumbs up, and feel free to comment anything in the comment box. This, as I say, this is taking courage to upload, because I know that I suffer with this condition and I learn how to manage it every day, but I don't tend to talk about it enough, and nobody really knows what FND is. When I went to the hospital the other day for another issue, you know, I said, you know, I'm paralysed from the waist down. They're like, oh, what is that? And I was like, I've got something called FND. And they're like, what's that? And I was like, not a lot of people know what this condition is, and it needs to be spoke about more, a bit like mental health really, but it needs to be spoke about more, because there are, I think it was 1/3 of outpatients that go to neurologists have FND. So it's a common thing, but nobody knows what it is, and it needs to be spoke about more. And yeah, that's why I'm doing this channel, and I'm also doing this channel to document, I guess, my journey through FND. You know, my good days, my bad days, my suffering days, my treatment days, just my whole journey. And if I do recover, then this is going to be an amazing story to look back on. And I don't know, I'm just going to feel real proud that I've documented the whole stage of it. And, you know, if I do recover, I really just hope that I can help others out there who are suffering from FND at the moment. And, you know, there is hope and everything. So yeah, that's what this channel is going to be about, documenting my whole journey through FND. You know, you're going to get it all. You're going to get the crying moments. You're going to get the happy moments. You're going to get everything. You're going to get everything. So be prepared to see me at my worst, at my best, when I'm in tears, when I'm like so happy, everything basically. Be prepared to see it because it's going to happen. So yeah. And as I say, I'm not editing this video because I don't believe that. I believe that editing this video, that's just gonna make it sound like FND is a good thing, and it's not a good thing sometimes. Sometimes it is because you get over it. Sometimes it's not because you don't get over it, and you know, you do get days where you suffer real bad, and that's obviously not a good thing. That sun is so bright in my eyes right now. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel as well. That would be awesome. And I will see you guys soon. Bye guys.